Cek. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. The opening ceremony of the 11th International Webinar Series 2023 on Pharmacy in the agenda of 25th Anniversary University of Muhammadiyah Kudus is going to be started. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International Webinar Series on Pharmacy in the agenda of 25th Anniversary University of Muhammadiyah Kudus. The Excellency, Rector University of Muhammadiyah Kudus, Dr. Edi Susanto, Master of Health. The Honorable all speakers, Professor Maria Donna Bele, PhD, Dean School of Pharmacy, Central Escolar University, Philippines. Mr. Santanatan Rajendra, Faculty of Pharmacy, University, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. Ria Edikasari, University of Muhammadiyah Kudus, Indonesia. The Honorable Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Mrs. Nur Hidayah, Master of Health. The Honorable Vice Rector for Administration and Finance, Mr. Rizka Himawan, Master of Psychology. The Honorable Vice Rector for Student Affairs and Cooperation, Mrs. Ani Rosiana Masito, Mental Health Nurse Specialist. The Dean and Vice Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Muhammadiyah Kudus. The Head of Pharmacy Study Program, and all participants. In the name of Lord, today we are gathering virtually in our international webinar series on pharmacy in the agenda of 25th Anniversary University of Muhammadiyah Kudus on Wednesday, November 22, 2023 ceremony of international webinar series on pharmacy in the agenda of 25th Anniversary University of Muhammadiyah Kudus entitled Global Perspective on Role and Policy of Pharmacoeconomics in the Era 5.0. Let's start this agenda with saying Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Singing National Anthem of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda, welcoming remark from Vice Rector for Student Affairs and Cooperation to Mrs. Ani Rosyana Masuto, Master of Nursing, Mental Health Nurse Specialist. The time is yours.
Terima kasih atas waktunya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Dean School of Pharmacy, Central Escolar University of Philippines, Prof. Maria Donabel Yudin. The Honorable Faculty of Pharmacy, University Kuala Lumpur, Mr. Santa Nathan S. Rajendram, the Honorable Rector University Muhammadiyah Kudus Dr. Edi Susanto, Master of Health, the Honorable Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, Mrs. Nur Hidayah, Master of Health, the Honorable Vice Rector for Administration and Finance, Mr. Rizka Himawan, Master of Psychology, and all participants. Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, let us praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds, and the sequel is for those who keep their duty into Him. Further, there will be no hostility except against wrongdoers. Secondly, salawat and salam is sent Honorable Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, his family and his disciples, and those who follow them in goodness till the day of judgment. In this very special occasion, I am pleased to welcome you to the international webinar series on pharmacy on title Global Perspective on Role and Policy of Pharmacoeconomics in the Era 5.0. This international webinar is held in the agenda of 25 Milad University Muhammadiyah Kudus. In this virtual conference room, I recognize some committee that you have all worked tirelessly on for this agenda. Again, I'm sure we are also reaching out to many new friends, including practitioners, technology, innovators, business professionals, and civil society representative, and I said a warm welcome to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, in the past years, several factors such as evidence-based healthcare culture, quality link incentive, and patient-centered action associate with an important increase of finance, constructions, and pressure on healthcare budgets, result in a growing interest by policymakers in enlarging pharmacists' roles in care. Numerous such studies have demonstrated positive therapeutic outcomes associated with pharmaceutical service in a wide array of diseases. Yet the evidence of the economic impact of the pharmacy in decreasing total health expenditures, unnecessary care, and society costs relies on well-performed, reliable, and transparent economic evaluation, which are search Pharmacoeconomics is a branch of health economics that usually focus on balancing the costs and benefit of an intervention towards the use of limited resources, aiming at maximize value to patient, healthcare payers, and society through data-driven decision making. In Indonesia, one of the applied policy that use pharma economic is universal health coverage. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that by participating in this international webinar, we are in the right place and in the right time. Together, let us accelerate the exchange of ideas and scaling up of good practice in pharmacy. Phil and I wish you all a very successful webinar. I declare that this international webinar is officially opened. Thank you for all attention and collaboration. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much to Mrs. Ani Rosyana Masyito, Vice Rector for Student Affairs and Cooperation, University of Muhammadiyah, Kudus. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the opening of 11 international webinar series on pharmacy at University of Muhammadiyah, Kudus. This all from me as Master of Ceremony. Let's close with saying Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Nasrun minallah wa fathun qarib wa basyiril mu'minin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now we come to the main agenda of 11 international webinar series on pharmacy in the agenda of 25th anniversary University of Muhammadiyah Kudus, entitled Global Perspective on Role and Policy of Pharmacoeconomics in the Era 5.0. This will be guided by Mr. Ahmad Shafiq, Master of Education. As moderator, the stage is yours.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the international webinar, so will be started now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innalhamdalillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu la nabiyya wa la rasula ba'da amma ba'd. Well, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 11th International Webinar Series of Pharmacy today. So, as we know that this international webinar is held in the agenda of 25 Milad Universitas Muhammadiyah Kudus. So first series is done last week, and then now we come to the second or 11th international webinar series. So today's topics of webinar will be global perspective on role and policy of pharmacoeconomics in the era 5.0. So as we know, ladies and gentlemen, now the role and policy of pharmacoeconomic, so to support the pharmacy, is really important. So the policymaker in this way can help to determine whether which one is a good product to select it, to publish in the field or in a certain area. So must be dealing with the pharmacoeconomics. And today we have three expert speakers who will talk about this topic in a very detailed. So first speaker will be Professor Maria Donabel Dean. I'm sorry for misspelled the name. And then the second speaker will be Mr. Sananatham S. Rajendram, and then third, Dr. Ria Etikasari. So three of those speakers will be talk for this topic in very detail today. Now, to save our time, without further ado, let's directly go to the first session. So in the first session, the speaker will be Professor Maria Donabel. She will talk about pharmacoeconomic in very detail today. So let's go directly to have keeping in touch with the Professor Maria Donabel. Professor Maria, have you been connecting with us? Not yet. Seems Professor Maria still not connected with us right now.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry.
right.
Yeah, hello. Could you hear me?
Yes,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Professor.
So, yeah, good morning.
Right. So, Professor Maria today will talk about, of course, pharmacoeconomic. But before she delivers the wonderful presentation today, let me read her curriculum vitae for a while for you. So, Professor Maria Donabel Yumadai, sorry if I misspelled the name. Dean is a licensed pharmacist who is graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, Master of Science in Pharmacy, and Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy also at Central Escolar University, Mendiola, Manila, Philippines. She completed the certificate pharmacotherapy specialist course at the University of Santo Tomas, and then the pharmacotherapy program of the American College of Clinical Pharmacy, or ACCP. Again, she completed the DOS PCHRD Basic Clinical Practice Training, a graduate of Middle Management Development Program, and completed the DIAS International Dean's Course, Philippines in 2020 National Multidiscipline Training by DAAD and IAAHAH, or International Assessor Training in Jakarta, Indonesia. Again, she completed her national certification program from TESDA, namely the Pharmacy Service and CIII and Event Management and NC3, Trainers Methodology, Certificate 1 and Deliver Training Session. She was also one of the assessor of TESDA Pharmacy Service NC3. Oh, so that's going to be wonderful. And currently, she is elected as the executive secretary of the Philippines Pharmacy Association. Oh my God. And then vice president for the Legend of the Philippine Association of College Pharmacy and executive vice president of Philippine Society of Pharmacists, Fasciantor, secretary of Central Escolar University Research and Development Foundation, and etc. She is part of the revisions of new practice standard and guidelines for the BS Pharmacy curriculum. Likewise, part of the core team in the integration of immunization and universal health care. She is a practicing academic pharmacist teaching at Central Escolar University Senior High School, and also she developed training material, syllabus, course plan, module, manual for BS Pharmacy program for the university. She also conduct research, either a researcher or co-researcher or researcher or thesis advisor. So that's all about her, and really, really amazing. And now, to save our time without further ado, so I like to Professor Maria to begin the presentation. Now the floor is yours, Professor.
Thank you so much, Professor Ahmad Noor Sharifi. I hope I was able to pronounce it right. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, of course, Professor.
Okay, thank you so much. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you to the Universitas Mahamdia Kudus for the invitation through Professor Amalia. And terima kasih everyone. And the topic given to us is Global Perspectives on Roles and Policies of Pharmacoeconomics in the Era of 5.0. But later I will be focusing on some topics in relation to the pharmacoeconomics policy, role and policy of the pharmacoeconomics in the era. So, salamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. So, I was able to visit Indonesia in Bali in 2012, and that's for the Federation of the Asian Pharmaceutical Association Congress. And also was able to have a training with the IAHE, the Indonesian Accreditation Agency for Higher Education Health, through the Lampatekes, which is last August 7 to 11 this year. So I am blessed to be invited again as one of the resource speaker together with the other resource speaker for this activity. So to the Deputy Chancellor for General Affairs and Finance, Honorable Rika Himangwan, for the Vice Rector for Students and Collaboration Affairs, Ma'am Annie Roshana Masito. I hope I was able to pronounce it right. To my co-presenters for this afternoon, and to the faculty members and students and participants to today's activity. Salamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. So my presentation outline will be focusing into the introduction of the topic, the pharmacoeconomics in the era 5.0, in which I will be focusing on education 5.0 because that is my expertise, and also immunizing pharmacy certification program of the Philippines, which is one of the results of the roles and policies pertaining to the pharmacoeconomics during the COVID-19, wherein pharmacists became one of the healthcare practitioners who were active in reducing losses in terms of vaccines because of lack of manpower in administering the vaccines during the COVID-19. And also the integration of immunization and Universal Healthcare Act in the Philippines in the BS Pharmacy curriculum. I will be touching on that because that is one of the reasons also for the policy of the Philippine government in terms of reducing also the costs due to due to lack of education of people, and therefore we wanted to start it with the education in the BS Pharmacy program. So to start with, I would like to introduce, maybe some of you already visited the Philippines. So I came from the Philippines, and you know that the Philippines are composed of more than 1,000 islands. And of course, we are neighboring countries. So Indonesia and Philippines are really friends, close friends, especially in the pharmacy education program. And I really appreciate this invitation because this opens a door for us also for connection and collaboration with your university. And my university is Centro Escolar University, and it is located in Manila. And we are the School of Pharmacy of Centro Escolar University already existed in about 1,002 years because we started in 1920, 102 years because we have started in 1921. And we are of 3 campuses, the Manila, the Makati campus, and one province, the Malolos campus, wherein we have about 1,400 students in the BS Pharmacy program. Now, pharmacoeconomics in the era 5.0, we have the milestone that we were able to identify in the different sources. And we mentioned that as early as 1970, there is already, in the past 50 years, healthcare and pharmaceuticals have come a long way. And during the 1990s, it started, and there is a rise of the pharmacoeconomics understanding the cost effectiveness of medication, what are the different products that could be essential or beneficial to the community, and at the same time would be of cost that would be for the public to be able to consume and be able to make use of. And in 2010, there is an introduction now of the new technologies, okay, in which the new technologies helped in the pharmacoeconomics, help in the delivery of these products, help in giving the different processes and the treatment of people making use of the products produced by the pharmaceutical company or by the industry. And in 2020, there is already a growth of data and analytics. And this is the time where COVID-19 also strike most of us. And we look at it at the COVID-19 incident on the part of the opportunity. Of course, we know what were the threats that came along the way, but we look at it as part of the opportunity, because we were able to identify some technologies and some ways in which we could be able to analyze what is happening around us, especially in terms of the different products that is available in the market, and one of which now is the production of the COVID-19 vaccine that we really were able to use during this pandemic and up to now. Also, in the pharmacoeconomics era 5.0, 60% patients' benefits were stated. That the cost effectiveness based on research shows that 60% of the patient already benefited from the medication that we are using, in which it plays a significant increase from the industry standards. And because of this, different government agencies in different countries, Asian countries, were able to have different policies in terms of the registration of the product. So we have the Food and Drug Administration, we have our Ministry of Health, our Department of Health. They were able to produce a lot of processes, a lot of policies in order for us to make sure that the patient will really benefit on the different products, and preventing the increase of the counterfeit medication and the losses in terms of unused medication because they are not effective to our patient, to the community, and even as a whole. And there was twice our ratio in terms of the benefit of costs, meaning the patients are getting more value out of the medication than ever before. During the time wherein we have the innovator drugs, people usually make use of the innovator drugs, usually makes use of the branded drugs or the branded generics. But now they were able to embrace the use of generic medication, because they were able to realize that generic medications produced are also of good quality, effective, and also safe for use by public. And that was able to reduce the cost also of the medications. So 80% satisfaction rate was noted, wherein patients report an 80% satisfaction rate with our medications, and which speaks to the quality of care that is being provided. In addition to this, it's because we were able to increase the function of pharmacies in terms of patient counseling. Before, we are product-oriented, and now we are already patient-oriented. So we were able to practice already a pharmacist who do counseling or performs counseling to the patient. And doing the counseling is not easy. We need to know the information about the drug. We must know about what to tell the patient, what we should tell our patient, and that the technology was able to help us because of the applications that are provided by different companies in terms of their medications. So we were able to have ERA 5.0, having the latest version of the pharmacoeconomics software that helps cost effectiveness analysis as well as decision making. I know that most of the most of the government agencies already are making use of the result of data analytics in decision making. So this supports various applications to the cost effectiveness analysis. And through this analysis, we would be able to identify how much should the government spend in terms of health, how much will a company will provide in terms of producing a certain product. And we were able to look into the government policies in terms of economic modeling, as well as the value of this product and assessing the effect of this product to the community. So knowing their effect, knowing their value, we would be able to balance between the cost and effect of these medications. And also, there are benefits of this era 5.0 because we were able to standardize the approach of the pharmacoeconomic evaluations, making it better in terms of comparison and in terms of decision making on different regions and different markets in Asian countries. So economics and pharmacoeconomics are now making use of different software in order to analyze the different data. And this data will serve now as a basis of the decision in terms of drug development, in terms of pricing, in terms of reimbursement, as well as in terms of utilization. So optimizing healthcare investment would involve the pharmacoeconomics because in terms of healthcare, we really have to invest not only in terms of the product, but also in terms of the equipment and of the facilities that is needed in order to provide the healthcare necessary for our patient. As mentioned earlier, economic evaluation in healthcare is very important. So the economic evaluation becomes increasingly important because we wanted to make sure that the products that we are buying, the things that we are providing our patient would be the best medication, the best products that they really needs. So pricing and reimbursement strategies are across countries is also important. That's why we do the importation. During the early 2000, there are a lot of manufacturing companies or in that industry who closed because of the cost of the raw materials. And they were able to merge with other international and local companies in order for them to lower the price of the medication. And the government subsidy is very important in terms of the production of this medication. Cost effectiveness analysis and cost benefit analysis usually help to inform the healthcare decisions, not only in terms of production, but also in the implementation of the health system in different Asian countries. Now, the common limitations in determining the effectiveness of the pharmacist intervention in terms of pharmacoeconomics and cost effectiveness would be those not performing incremental analysis or comparator, which results to fail to evaluate both the cost and the outcomes. Sometimes a patient does not have any choice anymore but to buy medications out of pocket, or it could be through the health management organization if they have, because in the Philippines, most people have it out of pocket, except for those who will be availing for the services, okay, from the government. But incorrectly assessing the cost of pharmacy services itself or failing to consider other costs in the analysis is addition to the pharmacy benefit. And in the Philippines, I'm not sure with Indonesia, we still lack pharmacy practitioners. And because of that, the technology could be able to help in the services of pharmacy due to the lack of manpower as well. So AI also is one of the topics in era 5.0, wherein AI is used in acquiring now and analyzing data of the patient and personalizing the different treatment. So as I mentioned earlier, gone are the days that we are product-oriented. We are already on patient-oriented era. And this high-dimensional data set usually makes use of the information that will be added as a data to be analyzed and to be visualized until this result of the data analyzed and visualized will now be used in personalized medicine. So they make use now of the different DNA sequencing, of the different laboratory testing, patient phenotyping, and also including the lifestyle as well as gene expression and genomics in the design of the medications. So still we have extraction from plants as source of our medication. However, the increase in the use of technology gears towards this type of preparation of medication already. Now, it was already unveiled that in 2025, there will be advancement in quantum computing, space travel. In 2030, there will be integrating of AI and human collaboration for revolutionary solutions. But our main focus is really in upgrading the humanity, that is accelerating the medical research and health tech innovations. So if you try to look at the different researches now being done by students, pharmacy student at that, we are already gearing towards the use of this technology in determining the different uses of this medication, in determining the different molecules that we obtain from medications, the different drug delivery system, making use of the nanotechnology now. So this is really where pharmacy profession is gearing towards in terms of research and in terms of health technology innovations. And of course, in 2040, there will be a transformed world already, wherein sustainable energy and infrastructure is needed for a better tomorrow. So meaning technology is very important. Now, pharmacoeconomics era, I wanted to focus on education 5.0 because trying to look at the era, you have their society, education, and the industry. So this innovative and creative society, digital transformation that is focusing on the human being, innovation, business model, technologies, and that, these are all will be needing education and collaboration, cooperation, even experimental work. And personalized education is very important. So teachers and educational institution has the capability of creating the new values and services. That's why, since I am in the academe, I will be focusing on education 5.0, which will be personalizing to improve the learning process and prepare students to withstand the face of the uncertainties of the future with their enriched skill sets that will allow them now to create new values and services that will benefit and balance the society as a whole. So through this education, they would be able to contribute in pharmacoeconomics. Understanding this, they would be able to understand the cost effectiveness of their services, not only of the product that they are going to produce. So a new curriculum reform is very important that would need the support of educators for possible problem-free implementation because, you know, the students here are our future in terms of the pharmacy practice. So in 2021, WHO calls for member states to prioritize vaccination against COVID-19 of health workers at risk and groups of all countries. In some countries, they have the integration already of healthcare workers, immunization, people in place, and healthcare system. And in the Philippines, there were a lot of people who were vaccinated in 2022. However, there is still a need for health practitioners who will be part of the vaccination program. So we have the health technology assessment as part of the Department of Health during this pandemic. And they provide decision on the evidence-based guidance in responding to the pandemic. So the health technology unit was able to conduct a rapid review to support the recommendation of the Health Technology Assessment Committee on various COVID-19 health technologies. So through technologies, we were able to come up with the different policies and roles of the pharmacoeconomic roles and policy pharmacoeconomics in era 5.0. So we have the emerging roles of pharmacists, vaccinators, and I would like to share with you the Philippines experience. So in 2013, Dr. Luc Basangcon, then the CEO of the Federation of International Federación Internacional de Pharmaceutic, challenged the Philippine FDA as well as the Philippine Pharmacists Association to train pharmacists to administer vaccine in the community pharmacies. In 2015, the training modules was produced by the University of the Philippines faculty from the College of Pharmacy, and it was already included in the Philippine Pharmacy Act that the pharmacists will do the immunization. So these are the immunization-related topics which are incorporated now, not only in the Philippine Pharmacy Act, but also in the law. It was part of the policy that the immunization-related topics should be incorporated in the pharmacy curriculum. In 2017 to 2018, 2017 core trainers from the University of the Philippines, Manila, were already formed. And in 2018, it was already extended to the faculty members of the Philippine Association of Colleges of Pharmacy. And in March 2021, March 15, 2021, the Professional Regulation Commission, through the Resolution 0.5 Series of 2021, accredited Immunizing Pharmacy Certification Program as training program for certifying immunizing pharmacists to the Philippine Pharmacists Association. So that means our immunizing pharmacy certification program is supported by the government. So there is a policy, there is a law, there is a resolution that was given to us in order for the Philippine Pharmacists Association to do the training for the immunizing pharmacists program. So the Professional Regulatory Board of Pharmacy accredits the Philippine Pharmacists Association Incorporated as the training provider to conduct the immunizing pharmacist certification program. This arises because of the concern on the number of health practitioners or health professionals who can do the vaccination that could be easily accessed by the patient during the COVID-19. And the policy was produced because of the pharmacoeconomic data wherein there are some vaccines which are expired, there are some vaccines which are not used because of the lack of practitioners or professionals who can do the vaccination at an accessible area. Because most of our vaccination areas are in municipal health centers, they are in the hospitals. However, the drugstores are not yet, unlike other countries, are not yet providing vaccination for public. Now, this resolution given by the government will be allowing the pharmacists to give adult vaccination, just adult vaccination. So we are only limited to flu vaccine, influenza vaccine, HPV vaccine, at that pneumococcal vaccine. So we are not allowed to do vaccination for children or for pediatric. So the pharmacists as vaccinators are supported by the different organizations and departments, either private and government institutions. So we have the Department of Health who partners with us, the Professional Regulatory Board of Pharmacy, which is the government agency certifying and giving license to pharmacists, the Commission of Higher Education, who is the one who is monitoring the pharmacy education in the Philippines, the Philippine Pharmacists Association, which is the mother organization of pharmacists in the Philippines, and the Philippine Association of Colleges of Pharmacy, which is the organization of schools of pharmacy in the Philippines. So I just wanted to have a run through with the program, PPH Immunizing Pharmacists Program. So this one is an innovative and interactive practice-based education program that will provide the Filipino pharmacists with the skills necessary to become the primary source of vaccine advocacy, education, and administration. So during this time, we make use of technology in order for us to provide the training. And we were able to review the basics of immunology, identify legal and regulatory requirements for pharmacists in offering the pharmacy-based immunization program. So this is a government approved program that is supported also by the government. So the program is of 4 sequential level. So the general principles, we have the COVID-19 from the Department of Health, vaccination principles. We have the preclinical skills training and the clinical skills training. And the level 1 is composed of 7 modules. I will not go on to them, but it's more of having theories as well as competencies in terms of public health, vaccines and public health, immunology, preventable diseases, the immunizing pharmacies, handling of vaccines, storage of vaccines, and also preparing the community or the drugstore in being a pharmacy-based immunization area, as well as understanding the bloodborne pathogens. And level 2, this is run by the Department of Health. So we have 8 video-based lecture. So we make use here of the technology in terms of the program. So they can just access it through the website of the Department of Health, and they will be given examinations for both level 1 and level 2. So for level 1, they must be able to have at least 70% in order for them to go to level 2. And they must pass also level 2 at least 75% in order for them to proceed with level 3. So with level 3, this will now be performed by using the basic clinical skills. So this is a 6-hour skills training plus 2 hours of skills of demonstration. This was done before online. And we are going to have 3 areas here: the patient care, the vaccine preparation, and the vaccine administration. So we have 2 routes for that: the intramuscular route for the flu vaccine and subcutaneous route for the shingles vaccine. However, we don't make use of the vaccines for that. For this demonstration, we only make use of a normal saline solution as their solution to be administered. So they are going to undergo assessment for this. It's either pass or not yet pass. So if they don't have the competency, then they will be getting not yet pass. So if they pass, then they get the pass and they will be ready to immunize or go to level 4. Now, if they are not yet passed, they have to re-enroll for the program, or they can do the reassessment depending on the result of the assessment of the trainee. So after which they will be having the actual face-to-face assessment either by a doctor or a certified immunizing pharmacist. And for them to be part of this program, they must be a licensed pharmacist in the Philippines with a valid basic life support certificate, as well as a proof of Hep B vaccination. So activities are conducted as supported by the Department of Health. So immunizing pharmacist certification program from the Department of Health. There are already 373 DOH pharmacists who are now certified immunizing public health pharmacists. And for the IPCP level, so they are taught on how to do it. So this is just the coaching session wherein they will be taught step by step on how to properly do it. And then once they completed all the process, level 1 to level 4, they will have the conferment ceremony. And we have already 1,205 certified RPH. And we are already making use of the RPH since 2021, certified immunizing pharmacists in the field. So they are working already either in a community setting. They can be in the vaccination area in the community, in also government identified, government identified areas. Then we have there also a volunteer with the Philippine Red Cross. We have also in the hospitals. So they are already practicing as an immunizing pharmacist. These are the pictures which were taken during the COVID-19. And there are different programs. There is a continuous program, again, supported by the government. We are given credit for the different seminars that are conducted. So previously, we have the first PPHA Immunizing Pharmacist Summit, which was supported by FDA, the Professional Regulation Commission, and also from the University of the Philippines. And this coming December 3, 2023, we will be having our first activity of the Philippine Society of Pharmacist Vaccinators, which will be joined by different international and local speakers. Now, there is another thing that was provided as part of the role and policy due to the need for immunization, as well as the universal healthcare in the pharmacy curriculum. So we have an integration of the immunization and universal healthcare in the curriculum. So in the immunization integration, the BS pharmacy program, so the Commission on Higher Education approve the new curriculum, which is CMO 25 series of 2021, the policies, standards, and guidelines for the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, in which immunization is already integrated, as well as in the Universal Health Care Act, or the act which is instituting universal health care for all Filipinos, prescribing the reforms in all healthcare system and appropriating funds for the different practice areas, or the Republic Act 11223 is already incorporated or integrated also in the pharmacy curriculum. So we have part of the course integration, wherein we have different courses where the immunization program was integrated. We have here from first year, second year, up to the third year, and also in their practice. So actually, just to emphasize, one is on the dispensing 2 course of the program, wherein the immunization techniques, the pharmacy-based immunization service, which I have presented to you earlier under the level 3 of the immunizing pharmacist certification program, we will be doing it already in dispensing 2 for our students. However, since immunizing pharmacists should be a licensed pharmacist after their graduation, they must be able to undergo the training. However, it could be shortened already, so they can just take the exams for level 1. Take the program for level 2, because that is the Department of Health, and then they can proceed already to level 3 once they pass those levels. But as early as in their BS Pharmacy program, they are already taught or being trained to do it. And it is part of the policy wherein these courses here, listed here, should be taught by an certified immunizing pharmacist. And now we have about 100 faculty members who are being trained ongoing up to December 21, who are being trained to become an immunizing pharmacist, certified immunizing pharmacist, so that we could be able to cover the program as integrated in the BS Pharmacy curriculum. Okay, so these are my references. So thank you very much. Terima kasih. If you have questions or you wanted to reach me out, you can make use of my email. Thank you very much. Professor Ahmad, I'm sorry. I think you are muted. I can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes, I can
yeah.
hear you.
All right, so I'm so sorry, Professor Maria. Yeah, so now let's please give a virtual applause to Professor Maria for the wonderful presentation today. So if I may conclude for the presentations that the different country has own method yet to select the product. And also the era 5.0, it deals, or we call the digital era. So the presence of pharmacoeconomics software will help to increase the effectiveness analysis and decision making for the product itself. So that's a little bit conclusions about the presentations, and I'm sure that dear participants, all you might have your own questions or suggestions. So now we will go to the question and answer sessions. So to the participants, or ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you may raise your hand directly to ask the question to Professor Maria, or even you can try to write down your questions through our chat room. Both are available. Do we have any chat room questions or Okay, so Professor Maria, seems that we have the first questions. So the questions will be pharmacoeconomic role in many developing countries in the early stage with the limited knowledge of the subject matter. Therefore, it is supported by lack of education and understanding of limiting decision making by health provider and health authorities. And then how to assist in choosing the most affordable option of pharmacoeconomics and outcome research. So that's going to be the first questions. Professor Maria, would you please give your
Yes,
answer and
thank you.
explanation? Right.
Yes, thank you, Professor, for that question. Yeah, in terms of how to assist them in choosing the affordable options, we have a law in the Philippines, which is the Generics Act of 1988. So it is a law that is governing the pharmacy practice, wherein part of our dispensing process is to let the people know, let the patient know that there is a generic equivalent of their medication. And that generic equivalent of the medication is cheaper than that of the innovators or than that of the branded generic products. So as pharmacists, we could be able to present to them what are the different options. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, yes, it is a part of the outcome of research, because before, people doesn't believe on the use of the generic medication because they have this connotation that if the product is cheap, it's not effective. So we were able to have, because of that understanding of people, the government was able to come up with the law, okay, in 1988, that indicating that generics are equally effective, safe, and also of good quality. And through the different organizations, we were able to help, okay, together with the Department of Health and the WHO Philippines, we were able to have information dissemination. And there are a lot of research outcomes in terms of the efficacy of these generic products or generic drugs. And now people in the Philippines, if I may, there are thousands of drugstores already which are carrying generic products. Generally generics already, because people already was able to realize the use and efficacy and safety of generic products.
All right, thank you, Professor Maria, for clear explanations. And then to those who ask, so Miss Naya, hopefully your questions is answered by
Yeah,
Professor
I
Maria.
hope I was able to answer it. Yeah, thank you, Miss Naya, for the question.
Right, now we go to the second question. So one participant is raising hand. So Mr. Ahmad Farid, okay, would you please turn on your microphone, speak your name, and then ask directly to Professor Maria. The floor is yours, Mr. Ahmad Farid. Hello. Mr. Ahmad Farid, you are raising hand. Okay.
I think he has no access to the audio. He plays a chat, a mic.
You might turn on your microphone yourself, Mr. Ahmad Farid, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. We got your voice now, please.
Okay, yeah. Let me introduce myself. Ahmad Farid. I'm from Muhammadiyah University of Kudus. Okay, the slide is explain about pharmacoeconomic era in the 5.0 is a comprehensive software solution that analyzes the economic aspects of drugs development, pricing, reimbursement, and utilization. My question is how to apply this software is used in hospital administration, pharmacies, and clinics. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Ahmad. in terms of, because I am in education, in terms of the practice with the use of technology, say for example, in some hospitals now in the Philippines, they also make use of this data, or analyze this data in terms of how they are going to provide care for their patients. So they make use of the different data, and those data would be able to support their need for certain equipment, their need in certain facilities. Say, for example, in the preparation of onco medications, because cancer also increases in terms of the incidences now in the Philippines. So there are already hospitals also who were able to provide cancer care, making use of the different facilities, making use of the different equipment in the preparation of chemotherapeutic drugs. And these are products of the data that they were that they were able to collect in their hospital or in their practice. And in the government, we have agencies who are taking care of it. We have the Health Technology Assessment Committee of the Department of Health, who is getting information regarding the effects of this medication. And they have the different softwares that they use, and they turn them into researches, and they provide us information with the different research outputs. And the government makes use of this data also in focusing on what to acquire in terms of the government hospital, for them to provide good services, including products such as medications and even the devices, and also the equipment that they use.
Okay, so thank you for the clear explanation from Professor Maria. So to Mr. Ahmad Farid, does it answer the questions? Does it answer your questions, Mr.? Okay, hopefully yes. I think she has no reply. Yeah. All right. So he said thank you, Professor Maria. Okay. So now
you
we go
also.
right now we go to the third questions, Professor. So question from Mrs. Karisma Aprilita. Good morning, Professor Maria. That's a very great presentation from you. I'd like to ask, based on various analysis methods and perspective in pharmacoeconomics, you have already explained what is the best method we can use in the era 5.0. So that's the question.
When it comes to the best method, I cannot say a piece. I would say it depends on the need of the different countries, or it depends on the need of your institution, because in terms of the best method, it will be a combination, really. So what would be the best method would be encompassing everything, because in the era of the pharmacoeconomics, when we say we are going to make use of system, we're going to make use of technology, still we need to make use of data, okay, that would be obtained from people, that could be obtained from the community. And when it comes to the methodology, it would be encompassing one from the other. So optimizing the healthcare investments, the pricing, the reimbursement strategies, and even the cost-benefit analysis and cost-effectiveness analysis, it needs data from these areas. So it needs data from healthcare investment, it needs data for pricing, it needs data for from the economic evaluations, it needs data for what are important in the healthcare needs. So during this time of pandemic, I think we are focusing more in terms of development of vaccines. So that is one of the things that I think that could be identified as one of the focus, okay, in terms of pharmacoeconomics era 5.0. So that will be on product development. It could be it is more of product development. It is more of also on the healthcare system process.
Right. Thank you, Professor Maria, for the wonderful explanations. And hopefully it answers your questions, Mrs. Karisma. And she say, thank you very much, Professor Maria, for your answer. That's very clear. Okay,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
So do we still have another questions, chat room, or even rising hand participant? We still have one more questions, if any. Is there any? All right. Okay. Seems that we don't have any questions left, Professor Maria. So exactly, this is a very wonderful session talking about pharmacoeconomics. But seems this session is already time finishing. So I would like to say thank you for the wonderful presentation from Professor Maria. But before I end this session, so Professor Maria, would you please give your closing statement regarding to the presentation?
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor Ahmad. And again, thank you so much for your invitation. I just want to have a parting word. So whatever small things that we can do for our profession, let's try to continue doing it. We try to uplift our profession. I know AI is there, robotics are there, okay, as part of the 5.0. Don't be afraid that we will be replaced by robots. Will be replaced by this AI. We should be collaborating and making use of them in order for us to have an easier way in order for us to provide services. And in terms of the topic that we have now, very important is to have the cost minimization analysis. We have to have the cost benefit analysis as always, cost effectiveness analysis. And it is not only pertaining to the product or in the production, but cost effectiveness could be essential also, as part of it will be our function as a pharmacist. When we give them the right counseling, when we give them the right medication, we are reducing the cost of medication of our patient. So we are helping them a lot in terms of cost because we are doing our job. We play an important role in this pharmacoeconomics, and we play an important role in terms of policy making. And I hope you will be part of making policies in your country and be able to implement these policies. Thank you so much, and thank you very much, and I hope all of you well. Terima kasih.
Right, terima kasih, Professor Maria. You are most welcome, Professor Maria. So that's a good quote today. Don't afraid about the presence of AI and the presence of era 4.0. So we can collaborate between robotics and then also a human resource that we have. Right. So thank you to have a nice presentations once again from Professor Maria. And now please give a virtual applause to Professor Maria today. So hopefully we can meet again for another presentation in another international webinar, Professor Maria.
Yes.
And,
looking forward for the collaboration with your university. I hope we could be able to discuss more collaborations like that. And
Right.
maybe you will be one of our speakers also in the Philippines. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Terima
So,
kasih.
all right. Good morning, Professor Maria. See you in another presentation. Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye. Thank you.
So, right, so dear participant, don't miss the international webinar today. We still have a nice session. So now we go to the second session for the international webinar. The presentation from Mr. Santanatan ELS Rajendram from Malaysia. So now let me keep in touch with Mr. Santanatan. Hello, Mr. How are you today?
I'm fine, good.
Okay. So since that we have been connecting with Mr. Santanatan, today Mr. Santanatan will talk about pharmacoeconomics also in a very detail. And before Mr. Santanatan deliver his wonderful presentation, so let me read his curriculum vitae for you all. His full name is Santanatan A.L. So if I may know, what's the E.L.?
EL is anak lelaki.
Okay.
In Malaysia, we use anak lelaki or anak
lelaki. Okay, right.
Like
Anak
Bin
lelaki.
and Binti. So for us, Indians is anak lelaki.
Yeah, let me very questions about what is the EL stand for. All right. San S. Rajendram, and then now he is the head of Department Pharmacy and Coordinator Batch of Pharmacy Senior Lecturer RCMP UNIKL. So about 2 weeks ago, I also visited UniKL in Malaysia, and that will be really, really great university. And so about the academic qualification, so Mr. Santanatam finished the Bachelor of Pharmacy won in 1994 in University San Malaysia, and continue about the MBR Marketing in 2001 from University of Leicester, and continue the MST Social Pharmacy in 2003 from University San Malaysia also. So his current professional membership, he is joining the Malaysian Pharmaceutical Society. And about the conference and training, so he got a lot of conference and training that I can mention one by one, but at least he had joined the International Conference of Pharmacy and Health Science 2 and 3, and also he also joined about the national pharmacy seminar about the research and publication. There are so many, so the titles, one of them is integrating teaching and learning interpersonal intention skill through the AATC profiling, and etc. that I can mention one by one. So that's all about him. And to save our time, without further ado, so let me give the turn to Mr. Santanatam to deliver the wonderful presentation. The floor is now yours, Mr.
Okay, thank you. Selamat pagi, Jamat. And to everyone, selamat pagi. I'm from Ipoh, Perak, Malaysia. So RCMP is Royal College of Medicine, Perak, is one of UniKL's university. We offer medicine and pharmacy and health sciences. Okay, so my talk today is basically the use of pharmacoeconomics in community pharmacy. Although I'm a lecturer, academician, but my area of interest is community pharmacy, and I've been a practicing community pharmacy for the past 25 years. So, today we wanted to look at, which is all this while pharmacoeconomics was used on hospital, government policy. So, I would like to put forward idea why don't we use pharmacoeconomics to enhance the use and the success of community pharmacy. So without further ado, let me share my slides. Can you see the slides?
Yep, of course, Mr. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so my talk or lecture for today is the role of pharmacoeconomics in managing community pharmacies. Okay, mostly our target will be discussion is more on independent community pharmacy, where the pharmacies are owned by pharmacies and not big chains. Okay, where economy of cost, finance, management is a very important factor to their success. Okay, and then we will focus on understanding the economic impact for better pharmacy management. Okay, the main objective is sustainability and survival. Okay. Okay, for us, when we look at community pharmacy and pharmacoeconomics, let's a basic definition of pharmacoeconomics. As we know, pharmacoeconomics is a branch of health economics. Okay, we bring the factors of economics to the management of pharmacy, and how does it affect? Okay, we identify, we measure, we compare costs, consequences of pharmaceutical product and services, and we look at health outcomes. Okay, how does this discussion on cost and cost cutting affects the health outcomes? Okay, and we try to bring in the economic relationship between pharmacy and the profession. No doubt, we are providing health services, but at the same time, economics is very important, especially in different sectors, even in hospitals, industry, and also community pharmacy, whereby the pharmacist is expected to have a good grasp, okay, knowledge on the management of the pharmacy and the economics, the cost, okay, the finance. Okay, So when we look at usage of pharmacoeconomics, even drug research, production, distribution, storage, pricing, and all these also uses pharmacoeconomics, because to justify, okay, to justify whatever actions taken to make sure that the pharmacy distribution services, the research, production is all cost effective. Okay, so at the end of the day, when we focus on pharmacoeconomics and this role, we want the pharmacists to make better and more informed decisions regarding product and services they provide. Like for example, in community pharmacy, there are a lot of services we have. But then if you don't do a insight or decision based on pharmacoeconomics, you will be offering services, but you may not know whether these services are justified to improve the healthcare outcomes of your patient, number one, and also second, whether they will contribute to your revenue generation. Okay, so when we talk in community pharmacy, it must be a balance. Okay, it must be a balance between generating income and balancing health outcomes of your customers or patients. Okay, because we cannot be seen too business oriented. At the same time, we cannot be too health oriented, because when we focus too much on health and then we do not focus on the generation of income aspect, then we will find that sustainability and survival will be a question that we need to ask, especially with the rising costs. Okay, community pharmacies are facing a very tough challenges, especially in Malaysia. Okay, so we want to empower. We want to empower pharmacists at community pharmacy to use pharmacoeconomic indicators, tools, to help them in decision making, especially when evaluating affordability and access to the right medication to the right patient when comparing two drugs in the same therapeutic class of drugs. Because as healthcare cost increases, the burden of purchasing medication from supplied by government comes back to the patient. So when they come to a community pharmacy, the community pharmacy must be able to assist the patient in making a correct decision in terms of cost, okay, and efficacy. Okay, so the onus to convince this patient, so they are taking the right medication and at the right cost, to convince that if I don't take the originator, I'm taking a generic version. So when I take the generic version, will the efficacy be the same? Then there may be 5 types of generics and different costing. So the pharmacy must be able to use its pharmacoeconomics capabilities, okay, to help the patient to make the right decision at the right time. Because at the end of the day, the decision, okay, the patient trusts the pharmacist, and when we look at the Malaysian setting, there's a lot of trust factor between community pharmacists and patients always refer to community pharmacy in decision making on drugs. Okay, and second, during the pandemic, most of the community pharmacies are open. So they became the most important source of information during that time. So this relationship has continued, whereby people will always go back to your community pharmacy to source. Okay, they will say, okay, A, B, C, D, which is the best drug or compared to the originator? And then why do you choose this? So randomly, the pharmacist should not be able to answer them unless it's backed by some good indicators. So pharmacoeconomic indicators could be a choice. Okay, so in Malaysia, community pharmacy has been around more than 50, 60 years, okay, even 70 years for the matter. And then initially, it became known as retail pharmacy. In these last 5 to 10 years, where we have become community pharmacy. So when we talk about retail, people talk about business. So when you talk about community, we will talk about the health services. That means now we find that most of the community pharmacy provide healthcare services and functions based on the legislation that is allow us to what we dispense by prescription, what we dispense by diagnosing minor illness, okay, which do not need prescription. Okay, and then we also do clinical intervention with a discussion with the other healthcare providers, like the prescribers, okay, and then we do medication management in terms of review of drug, side effects, safety, storage, and then we also help them with lifestyle modification. Okay, so most maybe like in the 90s, most community pharmacy were located in shopping malls, major towns, working areas. But the trend has changed, whereby community pharmacy in Malaysia, most of them have moved to community areas, residence areas, to be part of the resident. So that itself justifies the name community pharmacy. Okay, so and then they have very long hours, extended hours to provide services to all the community around their surroundings, and they are very accessible. There's no restriction. You don't have to make an appointment. You can walk into a community pharmacy to meet them. Okay, so as in the year 2019, we had around 3,000 community pharmacies in Malaysia. Okay, and the number is growing. And we find that as the number grows, competition increases, whereby Malaysia does not practice zoning. So whereby you can open a community pharmacy anywhere you want. So, and then the competition between big chain pharmacies and small individual pharmacies. So all this boils down to survival and sustainability. When it comes to survival and sustainability, we talked about cost. So when it comes to cost, the best reliable textbook reference will be your pharmacoeconomics. Even in UniKL, we have started pharmacoeconomics courses, reintroduced it, which as a standalone subject. Initially, it was part of other subjects like management, finance, and all that. Now it's a standalone because we find the importance of pharmacoeconomics for a community pharmacy in justifying, sensing the right decision at the right time. So what are the major challenges faced by community pharmacy is market competition. Okay, as I said, we do not have zoning. Okay, we do not have zoning. So when there's no zoning, so everyone is able to open their pharmacy anywhere. So the competition is very stiff. Okay, and then your financial background, financial backing is very important to ensure sustainability. Rental increases, product prices increases, margins have dropped, and then big chain corporates are becoming bigger, and they have a lot of money to do promotion, marketing, and price cutting. So this adds a big challenge for community pharmacy. And second, legislative issues. A lot of changes to the Pharmacy Act is being done, or is proposed to be done, and has been done. Classification of drugs, changes. So there's a lot of restriction faced by community pharmacy, not only pharmacy-based legislation, business-based, trade-based legislation. So all these are a barrier, okay, and a further pressure on community pharmacies. And the third thing is customers' knowledge and expectation. So nowadays you find customers are more learned, more educated. They demand more than what they want, and they want at a free, almost free services. So this gives a big challenge, because that means you have to spend a big quality time, okay, on each patient at a very low cost. So whether when we look at the pharmacoeconomic indicators, whether the services that you provide to them is going to give you an extra return, whether it's justified or not. So, and then we find that pharmacists have to find new changes, okay, new services that are different from their competitors to give them a competitive edge, okay. And the fourth factor is the macroeconomic impact. Of course, the general economic situation of the country affects the whole profession, not only pharmacy, but any other business. The further strengthening of the US dollar and the weakening of the Malaysian ringgit has increased the price of imported drugs and also raw materials. This has caused a chain reaction. So when the burden passes to a community pharmacy, they have to have a balance. When there is a price increase, if they increase too much in their product services, this will eventually impact the buying power of the customer, because the buying power of customers are stagnant. Okay, so they have to make a balance. They may have to make a decision. How much do I have to increase? Because if you increase too much, customers go away. If you don't increase too much, you are not able to sustain. Okay, operational challenges is like utilities prices have increases, rental has increased, and then more competition, no zoning. So all these, everyone is that you have pharmacies open side by side with each other, okay, which further erodes, okay, which further erodes the your revenue. Okay. So what is important in our aspect of pharmacy, pharmacoeconomy? We find that when we are coming towards it, we see managing our resources is very important. One of the most important resources is your business management and your financial knowledge. Okay, so you must be very acute. You must be very closely manage your pharmacy, tight management. Okay, in terms of you must look at, and then when you that means you must look at your financial reports, financial statements, your profit and loss, your balance sheet, your cash flow. It must be done regularly. You cannot outsource this because you are there day to day as a pharmacist. Even though it's a small outlet, these are our fundamentals that are important to make sure you are sustainable. So when you're able to read your report, you're able to find, you can make informed decisions that suddenly require changes. Suddenly you find your cash flow is very tight. Okay, it's not easy for you to go and borrow money, get source of funding. So you look inner self, you look at the stocks. Okay, maybe you have overstock, your turn days are too long. How do you know all this? By reading your financial statement. So you must find ways to increase your cash flow, positive cash flow. Okay, so for a pharmacist, this is very important nowadays. Those days we outsource when business is good, economy is good now. But when economy is bad, business is tough, competition is tough, you have to go back to your fundamentals. You look back at your books. You must be able to learn your ratios. You must be able to see what's your profit and loss. Where can you reduce your cost? Where can you increase your cash? It's basically back to the pharmacies, especially in independent pharmacy. Okay, and then your operations. Okay, operations, how many staff do you want? How many workers do you want to keep? Okay, what services you can outsource? And then we come to AI. Okay, AI actually when one of my area of interest is digitalization of community pharmacy, which I'm also working on it. That means is there a possibility we digitalize our community pharmacy? Okay, that means we can reduce the waiting time for patients who come. That means whatever that's needed to be supplied by AI derived machine, we can use it. But at the same time, we do not compromise on quality of services. So when you see AI is helping you, you find that patients have more confidence. Okay, and then we can offer more services, different services for patients. So in the end of the day, we have to do cost efficiency, variance analysis. That means we must be slim, okay, slim. But this slimness must be overall or as a long-term effect. That means we have few customers. Maybe our working hours can be short, but productive hours. This can be done because you find if you're going to open from 12 hours, but you're not going to generate the income over 12 hours. So you must do your hourly analysis. Each hours, how much is your return? So all this comes back to pharmacoeconomics, whether that justifies for you to open night until 12 hours, or maybe you need to take a break in the afternoon when it's slow, so you reduce your cost of labor, you reduce your cost of electricity, utilities, okay, and you're more productive. Okay, and then what is most important is always we regularly do a SWOT on, let's say, our strength, weakness, opportunities, threat. Okay, because threats is always changing. Suddenly today you are okay to you are the only pharmacy in that surrounding. Suddenly in a matter of month you have another 2-3 pharmacies opening next to you. Yeah, threats, but we look at it as a positive impact rather than a negative impact. You can flourish with competition. As long you know your business, you know how to play with the figures, you know how to manipulate the figures and generate income through the figures. It's not impossible. It can be done, but as I said, it goes back to the pharmacist, the branding itself. I always emphasize that the pharmacist should be the brand of the pharmacy, not the pharmacy itself. The pharmacy is just a vehicle. You should be the brand. So people will come to see brand ABC. Brand Jamat, okay? I will come to see him because he has that kind of quality, service, knowledge, okay? And to do it. So this brand will survive even with whatever competition. But pharmacy as a premise will not survive competition if the brand is not strong. Okay, so that's why we emphasize you must know the science, arts, and the business of your community pharmacy. That's where we find that pharmacoeconomics will play a major role okay, and should be emphasized in the teaching and learning of our undergraduate students. Okay, so and when we talked about the cost, okay, one of the major costs is our consumer cost. Okay, the time we spend with the consumer, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and the cost of goods sold. For you spend 30 minutes and they're going to buy a product that only generate 1 ringgit gross profit. So is that justified? So you have to reorganize yourself, okay, to reduce the time spent with each customer. But if you find that the time spent of each customer can generate a higher profit margin, okay, we don't talk about revenue, but we talk about profit margin, because revenue can be high, but your profit margin can be low. Okay, so when we can generate that kind of profit margin, then it's justified for us to spend that much time. Okay, if you're spending time with a customer for 30 minutes, but you're only going to generate the turnover might be 300 ringgit, but the profit margin might be 5 ringgit only. Okay, whereas you might spend time to 10 minutes with a customer with a sales of 100 ringgit, but you can generate 30 ringgit. So which would you choose? So these are the cost justification, we will say, as a pharmacist. But we do not want people to label pharmacists as money-minded, figure-minded. No, it is it's a reality. Okay, reality whereby you have to have a balance between your cost and your turnover. And then we want to make sure that patients have good quality health outcomes. Okay, health outcomes is that means quality adjusted life years. Okay, so whatever that you have given is going to improve the customer's life quality life 1 year, 2 years. Okay, your counseling, your guidance, and everything. Okay, so the most important thing is we want to drive up our sales, increase our turnover, increase our profit, but minimize our costs. Okay, minimizing our costs that we incur. Okay, at the same time, we look at our stocks. We must be stock efficient. If we can manage just-in-time stock, all the better. Okay, because our inventory turn days must be small. Because now suppliers, wholesalers, distributors, they want to get back their money as fast as possible, and they will try to load as many stocks as possible. But for us, stocks are money. Okay, inventory is money. So if you can reduce your inventory time days, okay, that means you're able to regenerate your investment, okay, faster. Okay, and within that investment itself, other people's money, you can earn a interest. Okay, so all this the pharmacist has to look into it. Okay, and how do we maintain this is continuous quality improvement, CQI. Okay, continuous quality improvement from time to time, every day. We must always find ways to improve efficiency. Okay, any part. That means we cannot say we are perfect. We are always far from perfect. We can be better. And one of the most important thing is HRM, human resource management, human development, human capital development. We must invest in training our staffs. Okay, we must invest in training our staff. So the staff and us must follow the same vision and mission that we have. Okay, if we are cost effective, the staff also, you see, if they go to toilet, they on the electric light, you must ensure that they off. Okay, they don't let the pipe running. They don't if the weather is cold, you don't let them turn on the aircon. So they must think. Okay, all these small things in the end will give a lot of savings. Okay, and all this is in the backdrop of increasing healthcare costs. Okay, healthcare costs is increasing day by day. That is why a lot of independent pharmacies have given up, because they are not able to manage and sustain, because cost is increasing. Only big corporates can afford it, but also big corporates afford it, but the margins are lower. Okay, margins are lower, so that's why we say we need to be sustainable. Okay, so in pharmacoeconomics in community pharmacy management, there are a few indicators that we can use, like cost effectiveness analysis, cost benefit analysis, cost utility analysis, cost minimization analysis, cost comparison analysis. Like cost effective analysis, like for example, we have different ways of ensuring a healthcare outcome. We choose the most effective healthcare outcome, as I said. Like you can do a direct there, you can do a face-to-face counseling, or you can do a telepharmacy counseling. So, but you find that a telepharmacy counseling can give you a better rate of return and also achieve the same health outcomes. Why not? Okay, so you must always be doing analysis. Okay, cost utility, the amount you invest. Okay, the amount you used up. Can does it justify? Like you want to do a renovation, or say, for example, a pharmacist wants to do compounding services. Okay, in Malaysia, compounding pharmacy is not very widely used. It's just starting, especially in Kuala Lumpur area. But it's a decision you have to make. Because when you want to do compounding, there's a lot of investment, okay, a bit of renovation, changes, your clean room and all that. So when we do this, we decide, okay, whether what we have done can give a return or not. Okay, that's why our cost utility analysis. So when we have to do our numbers, okay, how much prescription are you able to get a good prescription? If you have done everything and you're not going to get many prescription, then it's not justified. Okay, although the trend is to have compounding, but whether it's justified or not is another matter. Okay, and then also cost minimization. For us, actually, cost is always on the downtrend. Revenue and sales must be on the uptrend. So when you do cost minimization analysis, that means we look at the whole scenario of the pharmacy where we can cut costs. Most of the costs, our biggest cost, major cost is electricity, utility. This is the bulk. And second is staff. So actually staff, it must be staff efficiency. Okay. We talk about multitasking. And then I said talk digitalization, computerization of your community pharmacy. It might be a big investment in the beginning, but in the long run, you find the savings are there. Okay, so when you look at overall the usage of pharmacoeconomics in community pharmacy, it will help us to make a more improved, realistic decision making. We can easily make decision making. We don't have to think. We don't have to ask advice. We don't have to go to a consultant. It's a basic day-to-day decision making, and it helps us to make better decision making, and we can use our resources effectively. Okay, we can use our resources effectively because we want to make sure resource is optimized. Okay, not wasted. Okay, we invest on our computerization. Make sure we use everything that's available in the software that can be used. Okay, like for example, like our point of sale system, we have auto count, one example. So auto count also has a lot of accounting features. Instead of outsourcing your accounting services, which cost, you can use also train your staff to do some of the basic accounting. You cut a lot of costs because one of the biggest costs, yearly costs for community pharmacy when they are in private limited, Sendirian, Berhad, okay, is accounting and accounting and auditing and all that. So if we can cut this, then we can be efficient, slim. And then better patient outcomes. Okay, when you computerize, when you digitalize, you can give more information. You can tailor-make treatment options based on their drug review. We can make tailor-made drug review options for this patient. Okay, so patients will benefit. They will look at you as a more organized person. You'll be able to see more customers. Okay, and another option is telepharmacy. Okay, telepharmacy is going to come in a big way, and it will benefit community pharmacies. But we must use it according to the legal consideration. And in the end of the day, what is the most importantly is the financial sustainability and survival of community pharmacy. Actually, finance is the most important factor. You can have the best service, best marketing, good pharmacies, but you don't have the financial capabilities, then you will not be able to sustain. Okay, so your financial management is very, very important. Okay, the pharmacist needs to know this basic. So that's why we emphasize in the undergraduate studies, you have to know your finance, whether you like it or not. Because when you go into community pharmacy, you are going to have make a lot of financial decisions. Okay, because we can't be simply taking loans, okay, or expecting grants and all that. It must be your own business that generate the extra income, and you invest it correctly to expand it. Okay, so that's why we say we spend a lot on technology. I'm one person who's always in the belief that technological advancement will really bring your community pharmacy way forward. And if you're technologically apt, very check up, then you can find a lot of things that a lot of people cannot do. A lot of pharmacists are very scared to do technology. But if you are way forward, and customers will love it. Okay, and then we also emphasize on training and education, not only for pharmacists but also your staff. Okay, you can do a lot of in-house training. You don't have to send them very far. You do in-house training. Companies are willing to come and train them. Train them everything. Share your resources. Share your knowledge. They will be better at managing the pharmacy. Okay, and then physically, structurally, you also have to change from time to time. Okay, so that you are in competition and you are in you people can compare you. Okay, and one of the most improvement of tools is pharmacoeconomic indicators. Pharmacoeconomic indicators will be very good tools if you learn about it and how to. You don't have to be very technical. You just have to do the basic, okay, and you do calculations, okay. Okay, so as a conclusion, I feel pharmacoeconomics will be a benefit, okay, that outweighs the risk. Okay, only thing is that you have to study more, especially older pharmacists. Like some of them were not exposed to pharmacoeconomics before, but if you really delve into it, it's something that's going to bring a lot of advantages to you, and it will ensure we talk about survival because competition is very tough. Okay, you survive and you sustain. Can be done, and has been done. It's just whether you want to give it the effort or not. Okay, so I feel pharmacoeconomics in the future, okay, will be way forward for all community pharmacies to ensure they are surviving, sustainable, they flourish, they expand, and they become better. Okay, with that, I end my talk today, and these are my reference. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Jamat.
Right, thank you very much for Mr. Santanatan.
You can call me Mr. Santa.
Santa, all right, Mr. Santa, for the amazing presentation. And if I may conclude a little bit about the point of the presentation is, so pharmacies can be a branch of pharmacy, so not a pharmacy itself. And then last statement by Mr. Santa, that when you survive, you sustain. So this is, I think, the point of the presentation. Right, so now we also would like to invite you once again, dear participant, to join the questions and answer sessions. So I think most of you has questions to Mr. Santa regarding the wonderful presentations. Right, so now you may have your own questions through raising your hand directly to ask questions, or you may deliver your question through our chat room. Right, so do we have questions? All right, so we have a first question from Mr. Anwari. So the question is, what are importance of the evidence-based medicine and evidence-based health policy? Second, how to make classification of pharmacoeconomics evaluations according to the criteria of full economic evaluation and measurement of health gain. So there are two questions, Mr. Santa.
Actually, evidence-based medicine is something that is advocated recently only in community pharmacy. I don't know about the Indonesian setting. Okay, in Malaysia, all this while, evidence-based medicine is mostly in hospital, clinical setting. But as patients become more educated, the internet is fantastic. People are reading a lot. So evidence-based medicine, evidence-based policy is becoming a very important tool. Okay, especially when you want to convince patients to convert from a patent to a generic to patent. Even we have discussion on evidence-based medicine with private practitioners. Okay, I've been doing my practice over 25 years. I have a very good relationship with a lot of practitioners. So we have a discussion, like we talked about bioavailability, equivalent studies, whether these are really sincere effort in determining the quality. And then whether evidence-based will support, actually evidence-based will help you to convince your patient that the medication is equivalent, is effective, and it helps with compliance and adherence. I realize this now, maybe like in the 90s, not really, but when it became year 2000 plus, you realize a lot of patients rely on evidence-based. So even they can be elderly patient, but they feel that they want evidence-based, and when it's evidence-based, they are more happy. Satisfaction is there, adherence is there, and they are and the trust. goes between the pharmacies and the. So this is an important factor, and it's going to be very, very important. And what's the second question again? I muted.
How to make classification of pharmacoeconomics evaluation according to the criteria of full economic evaluation and measurement of health gain.
Actually, when we look at classification, we must be in tandem with the economy indicators. Like for example, the weakening of ringgit and strengthening of US dollar. Like for example, it affects a lot of us generally, but we don't see the effect immediately. Okay, so we see the effect maybe 3 months, 4 months down the road, because a lot of people have their existing stock, and in fact, also inflation. How does it affect the pharmacy business, pharmacy profession? It does. Okay, the buying power, the cost of buying. People who have money before also, they will look at the value of ringgit. Okay, they will see how much 1 ringgit I can buy. So this will affect us. So actually, we pharmacists, we are not immune. So when the government talks of inflation, price index and all that, we must be also in tandem. Okay, it will affect, because we are selling basic bread to butter. Now, supplements is like food. People buy supplements like normal. So we see the trend. Okay, at one time, supplement sales has gone down because buying power has gone down. Okay, and then when the weakening of dollar happens, weakening of ringgit happens, people feel that supplements are more expensive. Actually, it's not expensive because of the increase in price, but because of the ringgit, dollars. So these are things that when classification happens in terms of the national economic policy, we at when we use pharmacoeconomic indicators, we also must be in tune with it. So there must be a correlation. So those days when we thought pharmacies are immune to economic changes, but no, it is. We only thought that things you buy in the market, things you buy in the supermarket, but now we are also the same thing. Okay, so the classification of the economic indicators, in fact, the pharmacoeconomic indicators must change in tandem. Okay, and must reflect the local setting. That's how I believe lah.
Right, thank you for the clear explanation from Mr. Santa. So hopefully to those questions, Mr. Anwari, so your question is answered by Mr. Santa. Now we still have another questions, Mr. So question from Mrs. Karisma Aprilita. Good morning, Mr. Santa. I'm very interested with your explanations about community pharmacy today. I'd like to ask about what are the most difficult challenges in applying pharmacoeconomic study in community pharmacy and how to solve it. So that's the questions, Mr.
Okay, actually, what is the most important difficult challenge? What is the biggest challenge is the pharmacist himself. Okay, all these why pharmacists, they think they have to look into the clinical aspect. Okay, but things are changing, because when you are if you are in a community pharmacy, you are everything. You are the manager, your finance, everything. So the mindset of the pharmacist must change. So this one must start from here when they are undergraduate. I think the economic subjects, pharmacoeconomics should be started maybe at a basic level as they progress, because even in clinical setting, a lot of pharmacists are involved in budgeting for the hospital and all that. So the mindset of the pharmacist must change. They don't only have to think in the clinical aspect, they also must think on the economic aspect. So when they change, they become better. And you find that pharmacists are able to do, just like you see, most of the hospitals, government hospitals in Malaysia, the pharmacist is the one who doing the purchasing, brand budgeting, they propose to the hospital. And, because I think pharmacists somehow, they can balance, maybe they got their clinical knowledge is there. So the numbers come easily. Okay, I think it's the mindset.
Okay, so thank you to Mr. Santa for the clear explanations, and to Ms. Karisma Aprilita, hopefully your question is answered. And do we still have another questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Santa, to your answer. Okay, all right, sir. And then, is there any more questions? You may raise sing hand directly to ask questions to Mr. Santa, or you can even write down your question to our chat room. So we still have a time for this session. If dear participant, any has a questions, so you may write down your questions through our chat room, or you may even raise your hand directly to ask the questions. Is there any more questions? No? Okay, seems that we don't have any more questions, Mr. Santa. And yeah, right. So let me say thank you once again for the wonderful presentation in the second session. So let us give please a virtual applause to Mr. Santa, yeah, to have to deliver the wonderful presentation today. And before I end this session, would you please once again give the closing statement for the presentation?
Okay. Maybe I give presentation bahasa Malaysia. Is it okay?
All right. You
Okay.
may.
Okay. Okay. Saya amat berterima kasih kerana di atas jemputan daripada universiti. Jadi ini adalah satu peluang untuk kita memulakan kolaborasi di antara, sebab setakat ini kita ada buat dengan Airlangga, Pengajaran. Okay, so saya rasa mungkin we can boleh lakukan collaboration in this. I am very thankful dan berterima kasih di atas jemputan ini dapat berkongsi pengalaman dan juga apa-apa yang saya boleh share dengan para hadirin lah. Saya habiskan dengan ucapan terima kasih lah kepada penganjur. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sama-sama Mr. Santa. Senang sekali hari ini bisa bertemu langsung dengan Mr. Santa untuk presentasi yang luar biasa. Dan mudah-mudahan presentasi ini akan berlanjut dalam sebuah kolaborasi selanjutnya. So once again, give virtual applause to Mr. Santa for the wonderful presentation today. And yeah, finally we now at the reach of the second sessions of international webinar. So once again, I would like to say thank you personally to Mr. Santa to deliver a wonderful presentation. And then see you again in the next presentation. Sampai jumpa di presentasi berikutnya, Mr. Santa. Terima kasih. Alright, so goodbye and good morning, Mr. Santa. Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the end of the second sessions of our international webinar today. And we still have one more session. So please, for the dear students of pharmacy, so don't left the chat room. So I see some of you are left. And now please join again. So we still have one more presentations from Dr. Ria Etikasari. So let me keep in touch with the Dr. Ria Etikasari. Hello, Miss.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Right. Today, she also will talk about pharmacosocioeconomy, the role and function, and also the government policy about pharmacoeconomy itself. And before she deliver the wonderful presentations, so like before, I will give you some curriculum vitae of her first. So her full name is Ria Etikasari, and then you may call her Ibu Ria or Etikasari. And then she was born in Cilegon, 8 of September 1978, and then now she lives in Proton RT5 RW6 Sariharjo, Ngaglik, Sleman, Yogyakarta. And then she completed the Bachelor of Pharmacy in Universitas Gadjah Mada. And then also she continued the study for the master degree of pharmacy also in at Universitas Gadjah Mada. And then she completed the doctoral degree also in Universitas Gadjah Mada. Right, so she is very consistent. And now she is one of the lecturer of pharmacy in Universitas Muhammadiyah Kudus. Right, without further ado, so I will take the turn to Dr. Ria Etikasari to deliver her wonderful presentation today. So now the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Safik, for the time
Good afternoon, all participants. Before we begin my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Priya Etika Sari, and I'm lecturer at Faculty of Pharmacy, Universitas Muhammadiyah Kudus, Central Observer. Okay, I want to share my presentation. Okay. Well, today I'd like to give a presentation about health technology assessment, especially in Indonesia. I'll begin by sharing the first slide. Okay. Why? I'm sorry. Okay. Why universal health coverage is important for us? One of the United Nations mandate is that every country should have universal health coverage, or USC. USC is a system that ensures every citizen can access health services when they need without having to think about of the cost. This agreement is mandatory to protect the society from being unable to reach health services when they don't have any cash money. So there's no more news that people fall into poverty because of sick. By USC, all societies are protected in all programs, from preventive to rehabilitative. For example, preventive program by USC, the government could fund immunization coverage from villages until remote area. And an immunization program, for example, FPV immunization for children aged 12 years. This program has only been implemented for at least 3 years to protect adolescents from cervical cancer. Methadone maintenance program is made for drug addiction. The government provides this facility at primary healthcare, or puskesmas, we call it. It provided for people who wish to live a normal life again from drug addiction. Another program, physiotherapy. In the past, this program was not included in the packet of benefits that could be obtained by patients. But now the government provides physiotherapy services through the BPJS program. The implementation of USC must be fully guided by BPOM, or Badan Pengawas Obat dan Makanan as a regulator. In conducting health intervention, must be effective therapy, safely, and have a good quality product, or GMP. And we call it CPOB, cara pembuatan obat yang baik. BPOM as a regulator requires therapy in patient is guided by EBM, or evidence-based medicine. For example, the use of pantoprazole or omeprazole as a therapy for gastric ulcer has gone through various stages of clinical trials and published in international journals. BPOM also guarantees the safety of medicine used by the public in health facilities in Indonesia. supplement or journal. USC has 3 dimensions. First, covering the entire population. Second, providing beneficial services. And the third is protecting against financial risk. On the other hand, USC must be supported by assessment of health intervention and technologies. So the question is, what kind of support should be provided? In the 67 World Health Assembly, SCA supporting USC in the form of first, consider the establishment of national health intervention and technology assessment system. Second, to strengthen the link between health technology assessment and regulation and management. The third, further consolidate and promote health intervention and technology assessment within a national framework. And the fourth, to develop and improve data collection on health intervention and technology assessment. SCA is also an instrument to prioritize various healthcare options because the resources available right now will certainly be not enough to meet all demands in public healthcare. SCA helps decision maker make the right choice, effective both in terms of potential and cost use. With limited resources, SCA can determine health intervention that provide optimal benefit to society. And what is SCA or health technology assessment? SCA is a multidisciplinary process that uses explicit methods to determine the value of health technology at a different point in its life cycle. The purpose is to inform decision making in order to promote an equitable, efficient, and high quality health system. The intervention can be a test, device, medicine, vaccine, procedure, program, or system. Applied HTA can be considered as a process for considering scientific evidence, economic evidence, and social values to inform decision as to whether to fund a treatment or service. However, not all health technologies can be assessed. The conditions for the health technology to be assessed are high volume, high risk, high cost, high variability, affect to quality of life, medical, social, ethnic, and then unnecessary health costs like cancer, medicine, and then vaccine, etc. And this is the end of my presentation. One method, namely assess health technology. The methods are CMA, CEA, this CMA, CEA, CUA, and CBA. And for the method, maybe it has been explained by the two speakers at the beginning. Thank you for the time given me to transfer my material, and that's all my presentation today. I'm grateful to moderator and all the speakers.
Right. So thank you once again to Dr. Ria Tikasari to deliver the wonderful presentation today. And I might let the dear participant once again now to join for the discussion of question and answer sessions. If you have any questions, you may directly drop your questions to our chat room or even raising hand to ask directly to Dr. Ria Etikasari. Okay, so first questions to Dr. Ria. You told that UHC with the name of BPJS in Indonesia is covered all Indonesians. However, there are some Indonesian society like my neighbor and my family indeed, they don't have health insurance. What is your opinion of the policy?
Okay, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Yes, that's what right. That's what's right. There are populations around 10% who have not been covered by health insurance or BPJS. Whether people will be protected by health insurance. People cannot afford it. They can register through program, and this group will be free. And we call it menerima bantuan iuran, one of the program in BPJS. And for the people who are able to pay, they are obliged to pay the fees independently. So if they can afford it, they can register through the PBI program in BPJS.
Okay, thank you for clear explanation from Dr. Ria Adikasari. Yeah, hopefully to those questions, your question is already answered. And do we still have another question? Or dear participant is raising hand? Do we still have? We still have time now to make a question and answer session or discussion. So please, dear participant, if you still have any question, you may write down or drop your questions to our chat room, or you may even ask directly to Dr. Ria Tikasari by raising hand virtually. No? Okay. No more questions? Right, so it seems that we don't have no more questions. Hopefully this presentation is really beneficial for you. And before I end this session, so please, Dr. Ria Tikasari, give your closing statement regarding your presentation.
Yeah.
Please answer that. So, okay. So all
Okay, thank you for the question. The most widely used in Indonesia is, I think it's now it's CEA. Cause it's very simple for to use it. Then just only two outcome for using this method. Outcome effectiveness and cost outcome. If we use this method, I think we only get two data from the hospital or the society. So it's easy to use this method in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you for the clear answer from Dr. Ria. So hopefully to ask the questions, right, Mrs. Nurul Hidayatun Naja. So your question is already answered. And yeah, right. So dear participant, this is the end for the third session and also the end for the international webinar series. So hopefully today's webinar or today's international webinar is really beneficial for you all. The all material that is delivered by the speaker, yeah, hopefully add your knowledge and science regarding the use of pharmacoeconomics itself and also dealing with your field, including pharmacy. And so last but not least, I'd like to say thank you once again to all speaker and also dear participant who joined in the 11th international webinar today. And I am as a moderator, if I have any mistake or maybe not polite in delivering the international webinar, so let me say sorry. And then we still have another international webinar series next week, so please don't miss it. Just join to our international webinar. And finally, thank you so much to all dear participants and also everyone who joined for this international webinar. And so we finish or we close this international webinar by saying Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. So that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sudah selesai ya.